everybody for being on this meeting. And we're going to go live. What I'd like to do is to ask everyone to silence your phones. I want to note that we do have a quorum for the record, and you can keep your phones on mute. However, you can take them off mute if you have a question or if you are abstaining. The other thing I want to ask is that we did just have the audit committee, and we do need a third volunteer, a trustee to volunteer for the next audit committee, which meets annually. Is there one of the trustees who would like to be on that committee with us? You can unmute to indicate your indication. Van Capel, would you like to, I know that you're new, but would you like to join the committee?
How could I say no?
Thank you. Thank you so much for your service. I appreciate it.
I thought if I could turn my camera off, maybe that would avoid it, but that's fine. Happy to do so.
Good. There is no hiding on Zoom.
Yeah, I see that.
Thank you very much. So we do have a person who was volunteered as opposed to not been told, but thank you very much. I think it's good service, and actually we had a very good meeting. It worked out well, and you learn a lot about the organization by being involved in these. I'll go through some of the items that we have. The first thing I'd like to do is to ask for the approval of the minutes from the August 19th meeting of the fund. If there are there any questions, first of all, concerning the minutes on this first item? Any amendments that anyone wants to make? If not, I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second to that?
Second.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We have a moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much. What I'd like to do now is to move the second resolution, which will go into a report, and that's the resolution of the fund approving the annual certificate for fiscal year 2023. I will read the resolution, which is resolved that the Board of Trustees of the fund approve the annual certificate for 2023 dated October 21st, 2021, and in the form attached here too, and be it further resolved that the acting chair of the fund is hereby authorized and directed to execute and deliver the annual certificate on behalf of the fund. I'd like to call upon the chair of the audit committee, Trustee Oberfeld, to report, to present on the resolution from the meeting and of the 21st at 9, which was today. And if you can just give that report, Trustee Oberfeld, and then I'll ask for other motions after that.
Sure. Good morning. The City University Construction Fund Board of Trustees Audit Committee considered one item at its meeting of October 21st, 2021. Here is the resolution listed in the board meeting as item 2. Resolution of the City University Construction Fund approving the annual certificate for fiscal year 2023, number 2353. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the fund approve the annual certificate for fiscal year 2023, dated October 21st, 2021, in the form attached here too. And be it further resolved that the acting chairman of the fund is hereby authorized and directed to execute and deliver the annual certificate on behalf of the fund. I hereby request your approval of this calendar item. I would just like to add, as chairman of the audit committee, for the record, I had the accounting firm state that everything was in good order and that there were no red flags the trustees needed to be aware of. So I think, again, I ask everybody to approve this. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you very much for that report, and also for the work of all staff who were involved with the firm that did the auditing of Mitchell and Titus. And this is their second year. And I want to also commend that firm for the work that they did in providing the audit. Want to thank Trustee Oberfeld for chairing that meeting judiciously. And the next thing I'd like to do is to ask, as the chair of that audit committee has asked us to approve this resolution. And so I'd like to ask for a motion on this to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Questions? Yes,
Chairman,
please.
hi, Toby Stavisky here.
Yes.
I vote yes. However, I first want to thank Dr. Atala and Mr. Ordonez for answering my what seemed to be unending questions. Since I've only been on the board for a year, do have some issues that they responded to in a professional manner. However, my concerns really focus on the expenses and the administrative costs. And there will be additional information, but I do appreciate their responses. And it seems to me that there are ways that we can improve the bottom line on the fund. And I thank the audit committee for their report, and I vote aye.
Okay, thank you very much for that notation, Trustee Truinsky. You've been working and have seen oversight, a number of the things that we're doing in CUNY and your other role. I have always, and we have always appreciated those insights. So thank you very much for the questions that you bring. It's important to shed light on a number of things like that. So thank you for that. I want to thank you. Hearing no more questions about this resolution, and I believe it passes, and I'll move to the next item. So I'll now move to the next item, which is the resolution for the City University Construction Fund authorizing the renovations. Okay, we approved this one already. Okay, thank you very much. So this is authorizing the renovations of the Firehouse building at City College of New York. And so I'll read the resolution, and that is resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes DASNY to proceed to construction and complete the Firehouse resolutions, and be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes capital funding for the Firehouse renovations in an amount not to exceed 18 million. I'll now call, there are other pieces that shed light on why we're doing this at this time. And so I'd like to ask the Executive Director, Mohammed Atala, to just give an explanation of this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The City College Firehouse is an off-campus building that originally served as Fire Department of New York Fire Station and is currently underutilized for maintenance storage. The City College's Master of Fine Arts program is in various spaces across multiple buildings on campus and needs consolidated and upgraded facility. This project will modernize the existing building and provide new studios, classrooms, energy-efficient HVAC, rooftop addition, and the student display area. We'll provide also a new ground floor gallery space that will allow collaboration with the local community artists. The design of the firehouse renovation was completed in June 2021, and construction is anticipated to commence on March 2022 and to be substantially completed by June 2024. I will share with you now some rendering and pictures of the projects that provide you with some more insight or visibility into the plan. Next slide, please. So this is a location. Buildings in blue are the campus, and the building to the top left with the red circle is the current firehouse location. Next, please. This is a picture of the existing building from the outside and how it looks like currently. Next, please. These are pictures from the inside, how the building currently is utilized from the inside. As you see, it's underutilized. It's being used for some storage of some material. Next, please. This is a rendering of how the building will look like when finished, and you can notice there the upgrades to the entrance, and you can see a rooftop added at the top to be utilized for student display and critique area. Next, please. Again, an elevation for the building showing the renovation to the entrance exterior and the addition of the rooftop. Next, please. A cross section of the building. You see a patio that is in the back gallery in the ground floor that will enable collaboration with the community at Harlem and the local artists to display their work. And you see also the additions at the top, the exhibit that will help student display. Next, please. Some rendering for the ground floor, the community gallery that will be available for the community as stated. Next, please. This is a typical studio, a studio space that we will have many of those for students to work. Next, please. Again, this is the student exhibit area, the critique area, and the rooftop. This is the addition of the rooftop will allow students to critique their work. And next, please. And that is the end of the display for this item. Thank you.
Is there, how many, I don't remember, you can go back a little, please. How many floors are in this building, or are there any elevators or escalators? If you can go back.
There are elevators. If you can go back to the slide of the typical studios. Yes, this one. So to the left of the picture, you see an elevator bank and exit stair. So that will be provided to provide ADA access for the building.
Okay. So it's elevators, not escalators, is that correct?
That is correct, yes, thank you.
Okay, good, thank you. That's good. We were able to show that. Any questions from any of the other trustees on this item?
I have a couple questions. Just watch the presentation, and to me, City College is extremely, extremely important. Can we assume that there are not going to be cost overruns over the 18 million? The way the last meeting had unexpected costs added to an already large amount?
Yeah, yes, Senator Stavisky, this is our plan, and we could confirm that there will be no cost overrun in this project.
Okay, now, I remember the last meeting, there was the question of the solar paneling came up. When you discussed the rooftop, would this include the solar panels?
Solar panels, you were saying?
Yes, solar panels. There were apparently a requirement, if I remember from the last meeting.
Well, this project, the roof does not include solar panels.
So are we going to be told at the next meeting we've got to increase the allocation because of the need to install solar panels?
I believe
I will vote for it, obviously, but I do want to caution that that question. And also, unrelated, is this building landmarked?
I do not believe it's landmarked.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, so there's no requirement to get permission from the landmark preservation folks.
I don't believe so. No,
Good.
I don't believe so. Yeah.
If you would get back to me with, the answer. I didn't mean to blindside you, but looks terrific, I must tell you.
Very good. Thank you.
The question regarding landmarking was something that I was interested in also. So and I guess from the fact that that rendering came about to add the additional floors, that my assumption was that it wasn't, but anyway, you can just take a look at that again, just to be sure. I'm sure that's the case. They've already done their due diligence on this, but I was concerned about that before I saw the rendering. The
The
I'm sorry.
facade, that's why, that's what,
Any other questions from anybody on this wonderful work? It's really a good piece of work. Van Capel, I'm sorry. Did you have a
No, it's
question?
okay.
Sorry.
No, it looks like a very exciting project. Happy we're doing it. And the senator's right. When the issue with the solar panels, it was said in the last meeting, was a requirement that we weren't aware of. So maybe, I just need some education about when is it a requirement, when is it not a requirement for buildings.
We'll be happy to follow up with information to trustees on this item.
Thank you.
Okay.
thank you. And no HVAC surprises next meeting?
No, hopefully not.
Okay, hope not.
Yeah, I think, these are important considerations, because of the way we've been managing coming after the fact with some things, but no, this is good.
Good.
So let's see, can I get a motion to approve?
Move
So
to,
moved.
Second.
Second.
All, thank you very much. 2 seconds. All in favor, opposed, abstentions, it passes. Thank you very much. If we can now put the next item up, please. Right, so this next item, number 4, is for resolution of the fund authorizing phase 1 upgrades for the emergency power backup network at Lehman College. So I'll just read the resolution. That is resolved that the Board of Trustees authorizes DASNY to proceed to construction and complete the phase 1 upgrades, and be it further resolved that the Funds Board of Trustee authorizes capital funding for phase 1 upgrades in an amount not to exceed 13 million. And so I'll ask Executive Director Atala to just give an explanation of this item, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The university is planning to upgrade Lehman College existing emergency generator infrastructure to provide increased capacity and emergency backup to the new Nursing Education Research and Practice Center. This project will be provided in 2 phases. Phase 1, which is under consideration in this approval, will increase the emergency generator capacity of the south half of the Lehman College campus to support the new nursing building, and consist of the installation of a new emergency generator and an in-kind replacement of the current generator together with its infrastructure. Phase 2, which is not included here, will upgrade the emergency generator of the north half of the college and consist of the installation of a new emergency generator. We have, again, some just pictures to provide a visual of this. Next slide, please. Again, this is the Lehman College campus, and providing here the location of the work for phase 1, and also the future work for phase 2. Next slide, please. This is a picture of the existing generator and also the existing infrastructure that is under consideration for this project, and that will be replaced in this phase. Next slide, please. This is the science building generator, and that is the subject of the second phase that we did allude to. And I believe this is the last slide for this. Next, please. Yes, this is the last slide for this item. Thank you.
Any questions on the item?
Yes,
Yeah,
I have,
Oh,
Please.
sorry.
Van Capel? I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to vote for this, but the thing that's slightly frustrating is that I count that $13 million as part of the initial cost of what the nursing school was. In 2019, this board, approved $75 million for the nursing school, which is a great idea. And then at the last meeting, we made a significant increase to that budget because things that should have been included, and we talked about this the last time, were left off, furniture and things like that, which all add up. And that was an additional $8.1 million that was added. As I read this resolution, we could build this nursing school, but you can't power it unless you spend this $13 million. So shouldn't this have been a factor in the original budget of what it costs to build the nursing school? Shouldn't this have all been part of the original allocation? And if it wasn't, why wasn't this a consideration beforehand? And this goes back to the point that I tried to make at the last meeting, which is I don't think DASNY manages this well. And these are things that should have been considered, at the time of the initial allocation.
Thank you, Trustee Kabali. I believe your statement is fair. Thank you for the input. And that particular work was not, it was not considered as part of the overall project. It is providing emergency power in case that we lose power, and it's part of the overall campus upgrade for its emergency power capacity in case that the campus loses power. But I believe your point is very well taken, and it makes sense. That's what we can offer now. So thank you.
Is there any way, though, to try to get in front of this, from a standpoint of feedback to DASNY, regarding this, so that we understand the question and the concern? Is there a forward action, though, that will move forward with providing this insight to DASNY? Can we have that happen?
I could confirm that we are currently in continuous communication with DASNY, and we are in continuous review, in fact, of our program management agreement. There have been an agreement between CUCF and DASNY that is signed in 2008. That's a program management agreement, and we're reviewing all of those items, and the obligation and the responsibility of DASNY that was incorporated into the agreement. We are in review of those items, looking at what of the items is being applied and what of the items is being left. And we are having discussions with the leadership at DASNY to establish a protocol to revive those items to ensure the process is being followed. There will be some changes in the procedures of the processes that we follow in a given project, from point A to point Z, certain pieces of the documentation of exchange of information between us, and then certain again documents to include commitments to the cost at the outset of the projects and commitment to the schedule at the outset. In the same time, in parallel to this, we also working on increasing and enhancing our own capabilities, our internal capabilities in terms of our systems, our computer system, our information technology, the existence of requirements contract, standing contracts for contractors and subcontractors that we could utilize internally to be able to help us to support our mission and to create and bring a higher level of efficiency to the delivery of our projects. I could, I'm speaking in general about what we're doing and the approach. If some more details required, we could provide that, and also we'll be very happy to follow any direction or any order by the committee. So thank you.
Would it be possible to get a copy of that agreement to the trustees, the 2008 agreement, so those of us who are trustees can actually see what's in it?
Yes, absolutely.
Trustee Trubisky?
Yes, my question really parallels what Mr. Van Capel's comments were. And really, that was the basis for my questioning of the administrative costs. I was thinking about Lehman College, and I love Lehman College too. Not as much as City. My husband was a City College graduate, but I'm really fighting for CUNY for every dollar we can get. And I want to make sure it's spent wisely. I mean, it's that simple. The question of the administrative costs, particularly DASNY, has me very troubled. Secondly, you call, I didn't see it in the resolution. You called it phase 1. What is the cost of phase 2 going to be? And is there going to be a phase 3?
There is no phase 3, but phase 2, we do not have the cost and the full design for it yet. But the reason we said phase 1, phase 2, it's, as I said, the intent of the overall project is to provide emergency power backup in case of losing power on the Lehman campus. So the first phase is the south part of the campus, and the second phase is the north part of the campus. So that is in design now, and we will bring this information once it's ready, once it's designed and bid, and we have a better understanding of the cost there.
Have you thought about, I don't know how many buildings there are at the Lehman College campus. However, have you thought of, I hate to be simplistic, but wouldn't it be a lot cheaper to go to Home Depot or Lowe's or someplace and get a generator for each building? A backup generator, the way folks do with their homes?
Well, for a campus with this size, Senator Stavetsky, I do not believe that this will work from a capacity point of view. I would think there is a code, would be code issues in terms of, again, the size, the required maintenance. Also from an operational efficiency point of view, if we have several emergency generators are in different buildings, those emergency generators usually they are on standby and they don't work until we have power outage. And however, they need continuous testing and maintenance. So having multiple of them in multiple buildings will in fact result, in my opinion, in a higher operational cost to maintain that larger size of work of generators. Sorry. I think Sorry, go ahead.
Trustee Stavetsky?
I'm having a problem. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Yes,
hear
we
you
can
now.
hear you,
I
Senator.
have the video. Sorry about this. My office is closed. The third question I have is I noticed that this is a $13 million appropriation. And I took a look at DASNY's website, and they awarded the construction contract for $7 million. And I know I spoke to Dr. Atala last evening, and he explained there are other costs. But of the $13 million, how much is going to DASNY itself? What are they charging to administer this?
In terms of DASNY's charge, there is an operating cost that goes to DASNY. It's an annual lump sum amount DASNY receive in the vicinity of about, I believe, about 25 million for overall administration. And that's the amount that they charge us on an annual basis. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, well, sort of, but I think I will vote for it also, but I'm really concerned about the cost of doing business.
I think that the questions regarding DASNY is serious enough where we ought to have, we used to at previous meetings, we always had a person from DASNY who was sitting also with us and who would give a report. I want to reinstitute that. I don't know why that fell apart, in DASNY not sending a new representative or continuing with that representation. So that way, when we do have questions, which will refer to DASNY and we can bring this up. So I want to formally ask DASNY to be present at the next meeting, which is in December 16th, I believe is the date. And so Executive Director, if you can make sure to communicate that to them. They're supposed to be here. They're supposed to give a report on items. And this would also be an opportunity for us to continue that conversation.
Thank
Very
you.
good, thank you.
So any other questions on this? Appreciate the input so far. Any other questions on this resolution? If so, can we have somebody motion to accept it?
Motion to accept.
And second,
All right, I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, it passes. It passes. However, I believe that the Executive Director should note, to DASNY, what our concerns are. And so specifically, in addition to telling them to be present at the next meeting, to also note the concerns that we had regarding this. And so quite frankly, it could have easily failed, because of our questions that we had. Will you be able to do that, Executive Director?
Yes, for sure, thank you, we'll do that.
Okay. All right.
And we
Thank
may,
you.
Executive Director, want to remind them that this project has now gone from $75 million to about $115 million in the course of a very short period of time, which is a very large increase.
Sure.
So and in line with that, the question when they are present at the meeting on the 16th, they should shed some light on that particular piece. So that's a specific request that we have. I'm putting Trustee Van Capel's concern, into a specific recommendation for DASNY. Okay. Is that fine?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next item, is, you can put up, Courtney, is the resolution of the fund authorizing renovations of the western wall at CUNY Law School. Resolved that the CUNY Board of Trustees, that the CUCF Board of Trustees approves the funding for the Western Wall common element renovations in an amount not to exceed $160,000. So I'll ask the Executive Director to report on this item.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The exterior panels on this building, on the western elevation, and particularly at the CUNY Law School building, it fell off onto the neighboring sidewalk shed during the rainstorm on June 30th, 2020. The property manager, Cushman and Wakefield, did an emergency repair and engaged an engineer to assess the wall. It was determined that rainwater penetration caused the failure, and this project will tighten all the original panels and replace any damaged panels there. And there are a couple of pictures here we could share. Next slide, please. This is a location of the building. And next slide, please. So there are about 3 pictures we're bringing here for the siding. It's metal siding panels. And as you see in the picture, it's fastened. There is some gaps between the panels that caused over the years rainwater to penetrate and cause some damage there. So the work is to repair this, and that is being completed by the property manager. Next slide, please. Same location from a different angle. Next slide, please. And this is like looking upward at the entire elevation. So at all of those separation points for the panels, that's the work is being performed there. Thank you.
So we can do all of this for 160,000?
Yes, the work actually, this is our contribution to it, which is 45.31, since we own only about 45.31% of the building. So this is why that's our share of the overall cost.
And Citigroup Citibank will pay the other?
So there's a question, is the city paying the other part?
Yeah, who's paying the other part?
Yeah.
Yes, the city. Yes.
Thank you.
Other questions? Okay, I'd like to ask for a motion on this item.
So moved.
Second, all
Second.
in favor, opposed, abstentions? Thank you very much. That passes. That's the last resolution that I have. What I'll do is I'll go into a brief report of the chair. We're going to have a next meeting, and that will be on December the 16th. That will also be via Zoom. I've asked for these Zoom meetings because right now I'm on the road, and I'll be on the road again in December. So I'm glad we can continue to do these without having to travel. At any rate, yes.
Chair, I have a feeling that I think it expires in January, the open meetings exemption.
Yeah.
So that we may have to do it in person. I'm not sure, unless we extend the exemption.
Right. Yeah. That's a matter of fact what I've been led to believe also. So we'll see how we'll see how we handle January.
Maybe the day before the expire.
Exactly right. Maybe somebody might come up with another resolution to extend it. I don't know, but we'll see. Thank you very much for that. I have no other item to report. I'd like to ask the executive director if you have any items to report. Anything else?
No, thank you very much. That concludes our items.
Okay.
If I may say
Please.
something,
Yes.
Executive Director and Chair, I don't think we took an actual vote on the Lehman resolution. It was seconded by Trustee Stavisky, but we did not actually take a vote.
I'll do it again for the right. I did ask for approvals, but why don't we all in favor of the Western Wall? Aye.
Aye.
No, I think this is the
I-
Lehman Brothers Gustavo, that you were talking about.
That's correct, Trustee Chappelle. It was the Lehman
Sorry,
Lehman,
Van Capel.
Van Capel, yes, Trustee.
Okay, so it's the Lehman Brothers?
No.
The phase one, is that the one you're asking?
Yes.
Lehman
about?
College.
The Lehman College, I'm sorry.
College.
Right, thank you. All right, so all in favor of that resolution, say
Aye.
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 Opposed, abstentions. Okay, it passes. Okay. It passes though with questions. Yeah, and I think that, and I really want to, I think that the trustee, what I hear, the music is that the trustees have questions about this, and we want those answered by DASNY. So I think that's for the record. So there are no other resolutions that are in front of us. I'd like to now adjourn the meeting and wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving, if you happen to celebrate that, and then have a good weekend coming up. Thank you very much, everybody, for being available. Talk
Thank
to
you so
soon.
much.
Thank you very much.